This is the story of Vladimir Chichinov, a cabin boy who was kidnapped and sailed on the Emeralda, a frigate, to the Americas. In this video, I'm going to bring his adventure alive through singing and explaining. It was inspired while I was working on the Halfwood presses. While I crafted, I thought of this story, and I wrote this songbook. In this video, I'm going to sing a few of the verses and explain the story. I was given some generative images by my friend Carl, and at the end, I generated some music with Sumo. So here's the story of fantasy, and well, enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Bill Ritchie, and this is my book, The Vladimir Stories Sketchbook. And in this side, the sketchbook, I have all 48 stanzas of kind of a ballad or a song that I wrote called Vladimir's Song. And for a long time, I've been walking around trying to figure out how to put it to music, because I'm not a songwriter. And sometimes I like to sing it when I'm working on the Halfwood presses. After all, the Halfwood presses originated in the myth or the legend of Vladimir Chichinov. And so from time to time, when I am putting a press together or working on presses, I start to feel like singing the words of the song, and that way I can learn the words. Maybe someday someone will help me put it into song. And one thing I do is I take a song like Johnny Cash's Coal Mine song, whatever it was called, and I take that song. I like it, and so I adapt the words to that music and see if it works. My name is Vladimir Chichinov. I'm dying at 43 on a cold Aleutian island, but my song won't die with me. For I'm engraving my story in ivory, in scrimshaw fine as lace. On the tusk of a mighty walrus, I tell the story how I came to this place. I was born in Moscow, Russia. At 11 they kidnapped me. They took me far east to Kamchatka on the edge of the Okhotsk Sea. At 14 I was made the log cabin boy. To the Americas we were sailing, to trade for the fur of sea otters, haunted by Aleutians there dwelling.
Well, darn. I was editing the video in 2025, and I skipped a stanza. I didn't record it back in 2017, so here goes. The hunters gathered round our ship like children eager to trade. Those guileless Aleutians in their skin boats, carelessly they came unafraid.
And then there's one that's from a song that was popular here in Seattle about Ivers, who built this famous clam bar. And I don't know where he got the song, but it goes something like surrounded by acres of clam, but I changed it. To one who appeared to be leader, our first mate displayed a reward. When that brave one came close in to take it, he was grabbed and hoisted aboard. He was grabbed and hoisted aboard. He was grabbed and hoisted aboard. When that brave one came close in to take it, he was grabbed and hoisted aboard. Our first mate took him as prisoner and tied him to the mast of our ship. I befriended and cared for this native and pleaded how to help him escape, and schemed how to help him escape. Schemed how to help him escape. I befriended and cared for that prisoner and schemed how to help him escape. Taking vials of vodka to the first mate, for long he was passed out asleep. I freed the native from his bindings. O'er the side with his skin bowed, he leaped. Ha ha! Awakening and finding what I had done, the first mate would stab me with his knife. For freeing his captive, a loosened man cries, but the captain saved my life. In revenge, the first mate spread a rumor I was bewitched, would bring our ship dread. Those superstitious sailors, they noosed me to hang me by the yard to dead. In order to save his voyage from mutiny, the captain had me put ashore on an island in the cold, wet wilderness, with nothing but the clothes that I wore. For days I suffered in foul weather, cast away with nothing to eat, except for clams that I managed to dig out from the sand and gravel of the beach. One day, while digging for clams, I heard voices. Then a boatload of helmeted men came out of the fog, came straight for me. I faded, sure it was my end. I woke on a ship, it was Spanish. A three-masted frigate was she. The ship's name was the Emeralda, the beautiful jewel of the sea. I was cared for by the old navigator, the kindest man I had known since my almost forgotten days of my childhood, in the warmth and comfort of my home. He taught me the words of their lingo and the most wondrous magic to be seen of engraving a map on polished copper, inked and pressed in a printing machine. The machine, he said, was an etching press. Polished wood and steel it was wrought by a steelwright and dulcimer maker in Spain's Mondragon, a land I do not. For long, this kindly old master had taught me his craft and his arts. He said someday I could be a navigator and even an engraver of charts. Our ship sheltered in a cove by an island as a furious storm passed near, after which we saw wreckage of that vessel that brought us here. And to my great misfortune, I saw floating. Of all that had perished, one had survived. It was that wicked first mate, my nemesis. But the captain brought him aboard, alive. Not a word passed between us when our eyes met, but threatening his dark looks were clear. And when he was recovered and working again, he whispered my ending was near.
One day on an island we were hunting meat, berries, and fresh water supply. My enemy on some pretense or other contrived that I be left behind. Dusk came and I found me a shelter in a hillside cave or the ship's winking lights. In darkness I waited for dawning, when a mighty rogue wave rose in the night. It lifted the Emeralda from her anchor and smashed her against the stone walls. Hillside, high water, and rockery brought death and destruction to all.